Join me as I paddle through North Algonquin Park, carry my kayak through multiple long portages, watch the wildlife, sit under the night sky, and deal with a pesky visitor.
Get out of here. I do have to say, I think this is crossing into type 2 fun territory. Welcome to another adventure. So I just stepped off from the Kayashkaki access point just a little while ago. On my way down to Club Lake for the night, and then on to Maple, 3 Mile, Amble to Fond River, and back. So 4 nights, 5 days in the backcountry. I'm hitting the water a little bit later than I wanted to this morning. I needed just a bit more sleep before leaving home. It's probably worthwhile. Because of that, I've missed the worst of the rain today, I hope. It's quite a big rainstorm coming in on the drive. But it's actually kind of nice right now, just misting. That was a gross landing. Alright, portage 1 is done. Short distance to portage 2, then I'm on, what lake is that? Then I'm on Mink Lake. Alright, portage 2 is done. So the GoPro died on the way into the portage here, but it's actually it's kind of funny. It's a little bit hidden, so there's a little bit of a creek to find and then paddle up, and just a couple turns, and then boom, here's the portage. So it's just over a kilometer, so got to get to it. start of this portage is really muddy and kind of flooded in some spots. Took my water shoes off and put on my hiking shoes for the longer portage, and sploosh, foot went right in the deep water, flooded my shoe. But, oh well, it's reasonable. Did the kayak in one go, so just on my way back with my bags, and then it's the lake for the night. I'm not gonna lie, I was contemplating doing one of those shots where I set up the camera, run back, and film myself walking by. But oh my gosh, I'm tired today. That's too much effort. So this is what you get. On Club Lake now. Gonna try to see if the preferred spot is available. If not, I gotta double back, but yeah. So I managed to get the campsite I wanted to on Club Lake tonight, so that's nice. Honestly, this fire was a pain to start. Everything's just damp, and I realized I didn't quite bring enough matches, so I didn't want to go through all my matches on my first night trying to get a fire started, but I managed to get it started. I'm probably just going to let it burn out, to be perfectly honest. I'm going to kind of just relax, take it easy tonight. This campsite itself is actually kind of interesting. There's lots of old relics from the old logging days in Algonquin. There's a car, remnants of a car, remnants of a camp heater, some kind of pump mechanism, a whole bunch of other interesting stuff just kind of strewn around. So it's interesting to wander through and see what there is. It's quiet on the lake tonight, and it's a little bit cloudy. Well, it's completely overcast still. Before I left, I saw that the forecast was supposed to clear up overnight, so we'll see if that happens. If it does, I'll see if I can get some astrophotography done tonight. And if not, it means I just sleep a bit more. nice and calm. I was hoping to get on the water a little bit earlier this morning. I wanted to see if I could find a moose in the marsh here, but I think they're eluding me. Never mind. There are 2 moose right there. Of course, the telephoto fogged up just when I needed it the most. They're just down there. I'm going to turn this corner. They're kind of behind the marshes now. I don't want to distract them or bother them too much, but let's see if I can get maybe 1 or 2 more photos. Okay, portage 2 of the day. Got 5 portages total. This is the first of the long ones. I think it's about 1.7 kilometers. So my plan of attack here is I'm gonna take the boat halfway, drop it off, leapfrog back for my backpack. All right, I just dropped my kayak off at the kilometer mark. I'm on my way back to grab my bags. It's an interesting segment. My kayak yoke actually slipped on me. It rotated. I ended up taking the boat to the face, right to the lip. So I think I'm gonna add some clamps when I get home to help clamp it to the cockpit ring to prevent the to prevent it from rotating or coming loose during a portage, and then it should be good to go. Okay, that portage took a lot out of me. My GoPro battery died, so I missed half of the uphill slog. Yeah, there's 2 sections of good uphill, so I gassed myself. But oh well, it's probably the hardest portage of the day, so that's good. Alright, short portage was a piece of cake after the long one. It's muddy though, holy cow. That entrance I sank up to my, just the tops of my gaiters. So I'm kind of glad I was wearing them today, otherwise I would have lost a shoe. Alright, short portage, or short paddle across Big Thunder, and then I'm going to stop and have some lunch before the 4th portage of the day. Got a nice tuna wrap in me, and now I'm off to start the second long portage. So this one's about 1.5 kilometers. Should be mostly at a slight downhill based on the map, so it should be a little bit easier than the last one. Nevertheless, I'm probably still going to leapfrog it, so we'll see how far I get the boat. So, I think the best way I'd describe this portage is undulating. It's definitely not flat. A lot of rocks and tree branches. Oh, well, the boat's at 800 meters, so I'm just going to pick up my bags. I do have to say, I think this is crossing into Type 2 fun territory. That was not easy. Holy cow. I packed too much. Arables Lake. Got another like 5.5 kilometers paddle. One little short portage in the middle, which should be fine. And then I'm on my lake for the night, Maple Lake. Oh, I've got to tell you though, I'm beat. This might be a limit for me for how far I can push the kayak with all my photography gear. The challenge is if I was on a lightweight canoe and wasn't packing all my camera stuff, it'd be a lot easier, but the kayak weighs a little bit, probably another 5 kilo more than a lightweight canoe. And then I'm kind of embarrassed to say how much all my camera gear weighs, especially when I'm bringing the astrophotography stuff, like the Star Tracker and the mounts for it. But I mean, at the end of the day, hopefully it's worth it with the Milky Way photos I got last night and the moose I got to see this morning. I mean, no pain, no gain, I guess. All right, I just gotta keep paddling and engage my core. Alright, I made it. Last portage of the day. Why can't they all be like that? I have made it to Maple Lake. So, I have to find a campsite now. Last I checked, there are a few people on this lake, so I might not get my pick of campsites, but that's okay. Honestly, I might just take the first one I find and just deal with it. I don't have any plans for tonight, so no astrophotography and no other big plans. Really, the plan is to sleep, so I'm not too picky tonight. First campsite I checked, it's free. It's on an island. It's two on this island, but I don't really care about neighbors tonight. And the other one doesn't look taken yet, which is good. Yeah, it's on a bit of a rock outcropping. Beautiful sky. It's gonna be a really nice site. Rocky landing, maybe not the best landing for unloading the kayak, but I think I'm gonna stay here for the night. Soto Windmaster to the test here. It's quite a bit of a breeze coming off the water, but it's good because it's keeping the bugs away. So my camp set up. Honestly, it's probably the best campsite I've been on. It's really nice. The bear hang was the easiest bear hang I've ever done. First throw, I actually got it for real. Oh. But oh my gosh, today was a day. I think I hit my limit. I could have pressed on a little bit more physically, but I would have just been putting myself in the danger zone for getting injured. And getting injured in the backcountry is never a good idea, so it's probably my practicable limit. Yeah, it's good. So just gonna take her easy tonight.
Good morning, day 3. So I had a decent sleep last night. Went to bed a bit early and let myself sleep in a little bit, so it's a bit after 8 here. Going to enjoy a couple of cups of coffee before I get on the water. Luckily today I don't actually have as far of a distance to paddle. I'm only going to 3 Mile Lake via... Where do I go? Via Rat Trap in North Sylvia. So it's not a huge distance, 4 portages, but for the most part they're relatively short. So it'll be a nice relaxing day compared to yesterday. Not covering quite the same distance. Fortunately, I wish I was paddling more. Honestly, even after doing all the portages yesterday, that last paddle on Arables was surprisingly not bad to do about 5 kilometers on the water. Once you get into the groove of it, it's easy to paddle even if you're carrying a lot of weight in your boat. So yeah, it's gonna be a good day.
Okay, off to 3 Mile. So I'm on the water a bit later than I wanted to be today. But on the flip side, I took a nice relaxing morning after yesterday's long day. I was checking my watch. It said it was like 28 kilometers or something, including double carry the portages. I'm not quite sure about that number. I'll have to double check when I get home. It seems like longer than it actually was supposed to have been. Oh well. Okay, portage 1 done. It's kind of funny when you're only going a short distance, less than 400 meters, you can take some shortcuts and carry a bunch of stuff by hand that you would have normally had to have lashed to your kayak or to your pack. Can't really get away with that on the longer ones without tiring your arms out. All right, got my bags at the end, which I say a lot. Just going back to get the boat. The boat's only about 500 meters back. On all this portage isn't too bad. It's not too muddy, mostly flat, so it's pretty good. It's pretty easy. Only downside is there's a decent number of bugs, so every time I stop trying to take a quick little photo or video, I end up getting bitten by mosquitoes and horseflies, but well, that's the woods for you. So I don't know if you heard that, but I think that was a wolf howl. It's just across this little lake. All right. very brief paddle just across this little lake. On the next portage. Kind of a cool thing you see in the park is these giant boulders that must have been dropped by glaciers a long time ago. This is just a small one. There's some more down there. I don't think you can see them, but it's cool. You see them on the portages. Just in the middle of nowhere, these giant boulders. There's another one up there too. It's pretty interesting, really interesting geology here. This bay's not that dismal. It actually seems kind of nice. 3 Mile Lake. So this is my lake for tonight. I just have to find myself a spot right now. I'm gonna head into the north arm because that's the direction I have to head tomorrow. There's a spot ahead of me that looks free. Yeah, nothing there. And then there's another spot further north. I don't think I have visibility on it from here though. I'll have to paddle in a bit and see if I can spot the other site. But either way, the one in front of me is free, so I might just end up camping there for the night. So here we go. All right, well, I got camp set up. All in all, that wasn't a bad day at all. That's a good distance to cover if you don't want to overexert yourself. So I think it's a good recovery day, if you will, from the long day yesterday. Of course, I started off with much better sleep last night, so I think that helped too. All right, good morning. Day 4 here in Algonquin. So the rain that was forecast last night didn't actually manifest itself. There's a bit of a drizzle here and there, but no rain, no appreciable amount of rain. So that was nice. Unfortunately, it was overcast overnight. I did get up to try to see the sunrise, hoping that the clouds would at least partially clear, and they did not, so there was no sunrise. But it does look like the sun is trying to peek out now, so I think it's going to shape up to be a nice day. So first portage of the day, so it's just over 2.8 kilometers by that sign, so I'm gonna take it easy. I'm gonna probably do about 1 kilometer at a time, a bunch of leapfrogs, and we'll go from there. And away we go. So far this portage is actually really tame and unremarkable. It's all on this service road, if you will. It's very flat. No rocks and roots to really worry about, so it's very easy. Oh, all right, got my bags at the end. There's some gnarly downhill to get to the end of the portage. Honestly, I'm glad I'm not going the other way. This would be a beast to go up. But it is what it is, almost done. Just gotta pick the kayak carefully through the boulder field going down. And that's that. So I've got a bit of a paddle to the next portage. The last portage was a funny one. It started off really easy on the service road, and then went out with a bang with that hill at the end. Fortunately, I was going down the hill. I think that'd be quite the nightmare to go up with a lot of weight. I finished that one in about 2 hours and 5 minutes, which is maybe slightly faster than my going leisurely rate for double carry portages, but I got her done. So I camped on Manitou last September. It's a beautiful lake. It's a big lake. There are a couple boats on it right now. I don't know if they're the park wardens or not, but either way, I'm gonna push on and one last portage, and then I'm on my break for the night. Alright, I made it to the portage. My GoPro battery died on the lake about 1 kilometer out from the portage, so hopefully the time lapse worked out. If not, you'll just have a bit of a missing scene. So this portage is about 1,300 meters. If I recall from last time I was here, it wasn't too bad, so I'm probably not going to belabor the point, but yeah. Last one for the day, and then I'm on camp. It's a solid maybe. Just trying to decide if I want to stay here for the night or if I want to try the other one. I'm gonna go check out the other one, just really quick. Yeah, I'm gonna do this site instead. So the other site wasn't a bad site. It's just, honestly, it was very covered with trees. So I would have had visibility of the Milky Way at like 1 in the morning, but it probably still would have missed the core. Here, I mean, I don't have the interesting foreground of the river, but I have pretty good visibility to the south, and I think I can get maybe some good photos tonight without having to stay up until 1. So yeah, set up camp, relax for the rest of the day, and then that's it. So camp's all set up. I'm gonna start making dinner soon. Like I said, I'm not expecting to catch a fish because I really don't know what I'm doing, and it's kind of warm for trout. But I'm gonna play around a little bit, learn how to cast, so that one day I will be able to catch a fish. Campsite itself is okay. It's a bit small. If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm not too impressed with the last people who were here because they ended up leaving a bunch of their food in the campfire, which is still smoldering, so I had to deal with that. It's not fun to do, but it is what it is. There's a fox. Get out of here. My food. Wait! Wow, of course as I'm cooking, a fox comes. Wow. Kind of felt bad scaring it away, but you don't want them to get too used to humans. And clearly he wasn't scared of me initially. Wow. So I'll eat up, then I'll tidy up. I've got a good bear hang set up already, so I can I'll just store all my food and everything with a scent in it. And if he comes sniffing by a bit later, he won't find anything. Wow. So today was it was a long journey. I mean, not as bad as the other days I've done, but those two portages were quite long, but honestly I powered through them. I powered through them faster than I'd been doing the portages the other couple of days. Honestly, I think that really long day, not getting much sleep the night before, probably really impacted me. So I think that must have had something to do with it, why I was a bit slower than I would have expected. Also carrying all the weight is a lot of effort too, so it is what it is. So plan for tonight, just gonna have some dinner here. I'm gonna have some dessert as well. Then I'll tidy up since there's a fox again. Hey, get out of here. Oi! Wow, he just keeps coming back.
So last night I did stay up until about 11:30 to see if I could do some astrophotography. Unfortunately, the clouds hadn't fully cleared up at that point, so I called it, decided to just go to bed and get some sleep, which worked out well. So I got a good sleep last night, well rested for the day today.
Alright, so maybe this river is redeemed itself a little bit. So as I was packing up, a few loons came and landed. So I was watching the loons, took some video, just kind of relaxed and watched the loons a little bit. It's actually really nice. Coming up on the almost rapids. Last year I high centered myself, so we'll see how I do this year. Water looks a little bit higher this year, so it might be a little bit easier. Well, that was a lot easier this year. Water level was a lot higher, so not really much to worry about there at all. Last year when I did it, oh gosh, the water must have been like half a meter lower, maybe more. And you actually have to watch out for rocks. This year, it's like 2 rocks to watch out for, and that's it. Well, here we go, first portage of the day. It's 300 meters, so nice and short. When there's low water, you can actually go all the way to Kayask. It's about 1 kilometer, adds just over 400 meters. But I don't feel like doing that today. I'm more than willing to spend the time tearing down and setting up for 2 portages than to walk the extra 400 meters. Those are some nice falls. Definitely a lot more water than last year. I don't have to walk the boat through here. Alright, very short paddle, portage 2, then I'm on Kayask. Okay, last portage is done. All I have to do now is paddle back to the access point. So a bit wavy right now, so I just got to power through it. Kind of the nice thing with a kayak is, there we go, it's easier to power through the waves in the kayak. As long as we're taking them head on, I should be fine. If it gets bad, I'll move towards shore somewhere. So closing in on the access point. It's about 500 meters ahead of me now. It's going to bring 5 days in the backcountry to an end. It's been an amazing trip. Very taxing, I think. But wow, what an amazing trip. Looking forward to getting home and looking to see if I got any good photos out of the trip. Not sure if I got any stunners, but hopefully got one or two good ones. So yeah, if you've stuck around this entire time, thanks for watching, and until next time.